under the mountain. And this is where the command center has been for the last 12 years or 10 years. They was the ones decided to put Trump in office instead of just go ahead and have a bloody coup to take or counter coup, so to speak. So they use the system to take the system back from the people that stole the system.
Aristocrats, man, the aristocrats. Hey, and you know what? I can see in my mind, Rod, like this, all of the little parasites that was sneaky and against our country. I can see them like rats that's got the spotlight on them. Now they can be they like, oh, they see us, they know who we are. We got to get up out of here. Like a rat, like rats leaving out a burning barn. They got to get the hell on, and it's all over with now. But they going off licking their chops like, well, we robbed them for so much now. They was already full off of our wealth. They already full and fat. They walking around fat off of us, and they still want more. They want it more. We want to hold them forever, for generations and generations.
Yeah, they operate off the philosophy of what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine.
Wow.
So now they finna find out you can't have my cornbread.
Yeah.
Eat your own cornbread. You can get my cornbread. Don't reach your hand over here and I'm gonna drop back a nub. I'm telling you now, don't mess with my cornbread.
Especially that good grandma's buttermilk cornbread fresh out the oven, hot, man, with some chili beans, man, with some chili beans and rice, man. Don't get me started, man. I'm starting to get
collard greens.
Some collard greens too, man. Some collard greens, man, with everything, with the apple cider vinegar in them joints, man.
Look, and anybody from the South know your greens don't taste right unless you eat them with your fingers.
Man, you gotta sop it. You gotta sop it. You gotta get that juice. Get you some cornbread. Hey, some hot sauce, Louisiana hot sauce. Man, come on, man. Making me hungry, man. Man, some Louisiana hot sauce with the cornbread and some with them greens. Then some black eyed peas. Man, come on, some purple hud peas. You ain't from the country, man. Come on.
You making me hungry. You making me hungry. I got some chili. I got some chili beans and rice upstairs. I'm about to go handle my business.
That sound good. Hope you got some. Hey, hope you got that motherfucking cornbread on the side. It's a dude that be on.
Yeah.
You know that too. They be cooking.
Yeah. Gotta have that motherfucking cornbread. Hey, he be cooking up something, don't he?
Yeah, I'm telling you, that dude there, he real deal. Like them people in Louisiana can cook, man. That dude there, the real deal.
Most of the ones that live back off in the holler can cook.
Them Cajuns.
You know, most of the people can't cook from the inner city.
Right.
There's very few country folk that can't cook.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, and then a lot of the country folks is pale face. They learn how to cook from our big mamas, so they can burn.
Right. That's right. They got big mamas.
We be forgetting that they got pictures of the big mamas nursing the pale face babies.
Yeah, for breastfeeding them.
Yeah, but they wasn't just breastfeeding. They was nourishing their life. They was teaching life skills to them. Stuff that they purposely deny us now. Nobody don't tell children that life's supposed to be hard. You're supposed to have struggles. That's why the suicide rate's so high. No. People get into a struggle situation and they give up.
Yeah, that's right.
And, the struggle is just a test. You go through a period of ease, and you go through a test. It's called vicissitudes of life.
Right.
The ups and downs. Right? The more you prepare a child to endure the struggle part, the easier their struggles become because they expect them to come.
Yeah.
But when you were here with an emotional drain and you don't know where it's coming from and what to do about it, you lose hope.
You want to escape.
Let Tupac say, we hopeless. We only hopeless if we helpless. But if you helpful, be helpful. Right? Because when you helpful to others, you helpful to yourself. You're teaching yourself the skills to interact with other people on a higher frequency.
Right.
That's why we do this.
Right.
Raise our own frequency by explaining to people the information
Yeah.
where we was lied to at, where is the correction in the lie. You had a whole bunch of people that told us what the lie was. Nobody's telling us the correction. Because they think the correction to the lie is called status correction.
Yeah.
You don't have to correct your status in the system you're not a part of.
Right.
You only got to correct your status when you're part of a system. You came in as the plumber and they're trying to put you on an electrician job. Your status is incorrect. You got to go let them know that I'm not the electrician, I'm the plumber, so they can put you on the plumbing team.
Right.
Right? So status correction meaning that I accept the system only under these conditions. So it's another form of adhesion contract that's based on deception.
Game.
Yeah.
You could drop the mic and walk off stage with that one, bro. You could drop the mic, boom, walk off stage.
Hey, we need to try to get that sister over here because they be coming at her. I need to know she ain't by herself.
Who? Which one?
The one you showed them 2 videos from today?
Oh yeah, so like I'm gonna go try to lock her Instagram into this video. I'm gonna put it into the links when I get off here. I'm gonna go find her. Yeah,
she answered her comments on YouTube too.
All right, so maybe I'm gonna try to get into. Maybe we can get her on here, man. That'll be interesting because her main focus is going at restoring the republic. So we on that too. You know what I'm saying? That's one of our nails we trying to put into their coffin.
She can have the show. I just want to come over here so we can let her know you ain't by yourself.
Yeah,
we've been fighting the same freaking fight, and if you need some help, we got a whole bunch of ammunition loaded in this YouTube cannon.
Hey man, look, we building archives, man. I'm telling you, like, we ain't leaving no stone unturned. I'm telling you, that's what we coming out. We turning over all stones. Right? It don't matter what it is. We're gonna check it out, see what's going on. Because they can run, but they can't hide. Right? They can run, Rob, but they can't hide. The black hand, the cat's paw, they can run, but they can't hide.
Wait till Angel Bay get home. Angel Baker's sniffing out like a bloodhound. He know him out the gate. Right. That's why they don't want him out. He coming. Yeah. He coming, you know. But when you in Chicago, you the boy say Stone Running, know that he's supposed to be the Grand Sharif of the land. That's right. All of the law enforcement activities supposed to be going through Angel Bay. Unless he appoints somebody as his champion that's better at the strategic position. Until then, he the law.
Yeah, it's a reason why they locked them Pacific people up. Doc, Jeff Ford, Larry. It's a reason, man. That's
because they the chiefs.
Yeah.
They the chiefs.
Yeah.
Malachi not just the chief, he the high priest. Mm-hmm. Right? So they want to try, they use stuff that they can control the narrative with easiest as the means of your destruction. Mm-hmm. If your people don't pay attention enough to be able to stand up for you, they gonna be the ones they use to throw you under the bus. Mm-hmm. Right? And when the community grows as fast as the YBs grew, that's the greatest fear of the corporate fiction. Because once he established that sacred site at Tamaway, they was no longer supposed to touch him. They was no longer supposed to touch him, but they fabricated some BS. COINTELPRO.
Yeah.
Hitting with the government snitch program. Yep. Hitting with the infiltrators.
Yep.
Right? And got people to make up stories like they did on Garvey, Drew Ali, Elijah Muhammad, and the list goes on. Right. But now it's the great redemption. We back for everything they owe. It just so happened they owe us everything.
Everything.
Reparations won't do what my birthright will supersede that. So we need to be aware it's birthright over reparations. Your birthright will nullify any need for reparations because you already rich.
Right.
In order to get it back, you have to know that you're already rich and that your birthright override all of the other BS they talking about.
Right.
Reparations cannot compensate you for nothing.
No, that ain't enough. That
You
ain't
know,
enough.
we never needed their financial support to build our communities firm and strong. But when they start handicapping the community by directly attacking the families under the pretenses of welfare, that Elijah Muhammad told us what it was going to be used for back in the 60s. Then he wrote about it in the 70s in Fall of America and Our Savior Has Arrived. Right? He wrote about it. The welfare state and the welfare program. It was in the final call. I don't know how many of them had the whole welfare scheme broke down, that different reporters do articles about the system of welfare and its original intent. Its original intent had nothing to do with us. The original intent was to compensate the women who lost their husbands in World War II. Under the New Deal, they had to find a means to support the families who had lost the breadwinner. So they created the welfare state. But when they seen that it can be used to exile the male out of the home and break the structure of the family down, then they start to push it in our community. But not only push it in our community, we're not even the biggest recipients of welfare. Corporate America get more welfare dollars than poor people.
That's right.
Next to that, pale faces get more welfare benefits than melanated people.
That's right.
It's just the structure of the system because it wasn't originally designed for us, but it was able to be used in a secondary capacity as a tool to break up the family. And a good understanding of what I'm talking about, watch the movie Claudine with James Earl Jones in it, and it show you the whole play being played out with Claudine until James Earl Jones say, we don't need their money anyway. We can go make our own.
Right.
And got her off welfare. Right. But everybody not going to do what James Earl Jones did in that movie. Because every man don't want to raise another man's child. Well, my mama told me if I take a woman with children, then my babies too.
That's right.
Right? So, I don't know what to tell you. If I take a woman with babies, then my babies too.
That's right.
You know, until they get grown and go on their own separate ways.
And sometimes that turns out to be a good thing too, because them kids come back. It's a bond. When you treat kids good, kids always remember that when they grow up.
If people don't know the value of talking to a kid, just saying hi. Just saying hi to a kid, wave at them. That changes how a kid's whole life trajectory could go just by one person saying hi to them for free.
Yeah. They
got us conditioned now that everything we do, we got to get money for it. Everything is not repaid in fiat.
Yeah.
Sometimes your gratitude for being able to uplift somebody else's spirit is enough to get you a reward. But you got to do it freely from the heart. You can't do it with an agenda. That way it don't restrict how much reward you get for it. But if you're a good person expecting benefit or reward, that's the only reason you're a good person. You still a piece of shit. You're just a piece of shit that's been controlled by a potential outcome.
A pet.
They was genetically altered by the Anunnaki, which created something called the Great Debauchery. Mm-hmm. The Great Debauchery was what we call a genetic spill, because they put a whole bunch of genetically defective humans that they tampered with into the genome. Mm-hmm. But they told you the only remedy was for them to have original blood or Anunnaki blood. Mm-hmm. So during the 6,000 years, you had all these other beings from different star systems royal families coming down here to clean it up, to aid the earthborn in reclaiming the earth from the ones who did created the Adamite. The Adamite is actually what they call in the Sumerian tablets Lulu Amalu, and they used to refer to him as the Lulu. Those are our Lulu, our servant, our slave, our pets, and they called them their pets. And their job was service to the Anunnaki.
Mm-hmm. So the Tartarian Empire, if you was to give it a geographical location, you would say Antarctica and where else?
Antarctica was the capital called Tartarus. When you read in the Book of Enoch, he gives you a geographical description of the land of Tartarus. Tartaria literally means west of Rome, whereas Barbary means east of Rome. So when you're looking at west of Rome, you're looking at everything west of Italy as Tartaria. But that's not Tartarus proper. Tartarus proper is under the ice in Antarctica, where they thawed them people out that gave them the cryogenic sinuses.
So, all right. So that was the capital, Antarctica. Now, what role does let's analyze two continents that are being talked about a lot now: America and Africa. During this pre-Adamite times, what's going on in America and what's going on in Africa at this time?
During this time, there was only certain settlements on the continent called Africa, and there are only certain settlements over here, but they are advanced over here. Then later on, the advancements from over here was taken to Africa by Tahuti and Inki. Inki settled what's called the Abzu, which is South Africa, when he gave rise to the Zulu. And Tahuti was sent to watch the Anunnaki that was in Sumer when he set up Kemet. The Anunnaki in Sumer was being led by Enlil's children, who primarily his primary son Menacin and his imposter son, named after Inky's son, as what was his name? Murdoch, right? Murdoch is actually Inky's son, and Marduk is actually Enlil's son, and they do that so that later on they can switch the birthrights and confuse the people that's supposed to recover the birthright as to which one of them it is. And if you give it to the wrong one, oh well, you should have picked the right one. If you don't know that they do this, an example is in Genesis, when Adam's children was being named, and then Cain started naming his children the same names as Adam's children. It's the same thing. That's the Anunnaki blueprint for crushing a bloodline and usurping it and inserting your bloodline in its place.
Damn. Give me one more example of a name like they just usurped the name, and a lot of people think it's one thing, but they stole that name and they're using it. Give me one more example of an ancient name that we see.
So Menacin, also known as Ninurtu, right? But he was called Ninurtu in order to replace Ninigazita. Ninigazita is the son of Enki, and Ninurtu is the son of Enlil. So these is the sons they pitting against each other to reclaim or claim the earth, right? And let me see, another one is Ra and Amun Ra. They're not the same, right? Ra was Marduk, and Amun Ra was Murdoch, and they was fighting to replace each other. The Enlil's son is trying to replace Enki's son, and Enki's son is mad about it.
Damn. I like this. Give me another example, because this shit is dope. Us figured. So we got Ra, Amun Ra, We got the other names that you talking about, Nindersine and the other one. I got to go back and write them down. Give me one more, Rod. Give me one more.
Uh, Another one is when you look into Buddhism, you
Uh,
have two words that look like they're the exact same word in English. You got Buddha and Buddha,
uh,
right? And the reason that is one of them is supposed to be wisdom, and the other one is supposed to be enlightenment,
mm-hmm,
right? You become the Buddha when you're enlightened, and you need the Buddha to become enlightened. You need the wisdom. We're two different people,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
right? This is why you got so many different carvings of the Buddha. The original Buddha was Inky-san, black bald head, pot belly brother. But
mm-hmm,
then they replaced him with Enlil-san, who they call an Aryan, and you could tell him because he's the stringy hair Buddha that
mm,
holds put his hair up in the bun
mm,
to imitate the priestesses. So there's so much of this stuff that goes on around the world. You can see it everywhere, but you don't always know what you're looking at.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Damn! Wow, wow. That's some powerful stuff right there. Rob, let me ask you, where is all this going down on Earth? And you talked about Antarctica being the capital of Tartaria, I believe you said. What
Charters.
Tartarus? What's the galactic capital? Where that's the spot everybody go to out of all the spots in the galaxy. What's the galactic capital, Rod?
Okay, now you got multiple galaxies. So um, like Earth used to be a resort. It was the women on Earth used to be the place to go for to see beauty in its raw and untempered form. But it was a vacation place. But you got places that where you go to train for war, and you got places where you go to settle conflicts in war. Those different in different galaxies. So when you're talking about a capital, it's not really like that. It's like everybody got their own galaxy, and then they communicate with each other, and then they have jumper ships that go from galaxy to galaxy. Like Nibiru got portals on Nibiru that they can go to Sirius, they can go to Orion, they can go to Arcturus. Everybody that has, they can go to the Pleiades. Everybody that got a bloodline on Nibiru have a gateway to get back to their origin point,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they even have a gateway to Earth to Nibiru, but the Stargate was closed down when they shut down, put us in the light lock to finish this war, this 6,000 year conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep
What
playing out over and over and over and cycle and cycle and cycle.
what in ancient times? What was the most famous portal on Earth? Like, was there a spot that everybody knows you go here? Like, we got airports and we got some of the most famous airports, LAX or whatever. What was like the LAX of portals in ancient times?
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay. Okay.
Arizona, where you see the Grand Canyon at, that used to be the capital of the unified Earth before they divided the Earth into factions.
You talking about Pangea?
Well, Pangea is a way to call it, but the Earth, even after the land masses were separated, which was done on purpose, by the way, but even after that happened, they still had a capital in Arizona that was called the Great Atlant as the capital, and the outland, which is Liberia, was called the Land of Moot. It's the outland. It's like away from the capital. You have like if Washington D.C. is the capital and New York is the Empire State, it's the big city, and that would be like saying Arizona and the Atlantis or Atlant and Lemuria as New York as the big city.
Mm-hmm. Right. And what since you talked about the land mass separating, and you said that was done purposely, what technology at that time did they use to separate the land masses, Ron?
The technology of some of these civilizations is so far ahead of Earth's current technological known level, not the unknown, because they got some unknown stuff on Earth that would blow your mind. But the known technology of the Earth is like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years ahead of us. Stuff that you can't even describe. Like they have frequencies where you can you know how you program a 3D printer?
Yeah, yeah.
You can program it to the micro level and it'll print microscopically all the way up to macroscopically where it's a giant monument and you'll be able to find intricate details at with a microscope level of magnification, and you'll be able to step away from it on the earth and say, "Man, that's a massive structure," and it'll still have equivalent amounts of detail. That's all. It's like a computer program, but it's so advanced it uses the frequency of the sound waves around it in order to carve out the structure. They got Angkor Wat was made with a similar technology.
Mm. Yeah, man. I don't hear a lot of people talking about Angkor Watts. Who dominated that landmass in ancient times? Angkor Watts.
That was the Ethiopia of the East. That was Enki's land. Um, and he used to experiment with some of that technology while they were looking for gold at various points around the earth. And he would experiment. He would get his science teams together, and they would do these magnificent architectural designs using computer-like imaging to enhance them and all that kind of stuff. Those were the original people of India before India brought his children. His children today is the ones they call an Aryans and Ayurvedic royal families. And the untouchables, those are Inky's children, because when Enlil poor rank, wherever Inky's children were, he put them at the bottom.
Mm. Damn, man, this thing between Inky and Enlil, this thing go deep, bro.
It's just the story of the God and the devil. It's the same story. All it is just the names is just different in modern terms to confuse the ignorant as to what's really taking place by giving them religious zeal. The religious zeal is the side effect of being told that the God you're looking for is outside of you.
Right.
Right? Because you need to recognize the inner God in order to be independent of the pseudo gods. Because the inner God is the only true God you're going to ever know other than your mama.
Right. And speaking of inner gods, when we talk about the Black Adams, what can you tell me about? Let's talk a little bit about the Black Sun, and if we could talk a little bit about the return, or what many people call the return of the Black Sun. What does that represent to us in our inner world, the return of the Black Sun, Rod?
See, so when they talking about the Black Sun, it's also what Richard King called the Black Dot. Right? We talking about the guy seated in the back of the base of the skull, right? And when they talk about the return of the Black Sun, they also talking about the return of the Christ, not no Jesus. Because the Christ is the awakening of the sacred elixir that rests at the bottom of your spine. Right? That's called the Christ liquid. The term Christ means to be anointed in reference to being smeared or smudged with an oil. Right? That's what anointed means. And the oil that they used to use in the rituals it was bought from Sobek priests by the other priesthoods in order to perform the ritual, because they would drain it from the alligator brain, right? So they called it alligator oil or crocodile oil in Kemet. Over here we use alligator oil, but it's the same thing. And today we use olive oil as the substitute for the christening or the anointing of the child, right? Because it's the another. It looks almost the same as the alligator oil or the crocodile oil. Right. So When they talk about the return of the black sun, they talking about the one who can see through the black sun. It's in Masonic symbolism, right? And it's referred to in the Masonic lodges as the Saturn sun.
Right,
The
right.
Saturn sun is not really a sun. It's a pseudo sun, a false light, right? Now, this is what, if you remember Bobby Hemming talking about spirit artificial,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
right? It's to make the ego outshine the true self.
Human artificial. He's talking about human artificial, right? Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember that. Damn, I
yeah.
remember. Yeah,
That's what he's talking about. The ones with the false light. The ones with the false light have no intrinsic biological connection to the earth or no spiritual connection to the earth. But they can look like us and they can mimic us,
yeah.
right? But they still not us.
What's one thing if you're telling people there's people that look like us, mimic us, they're not us because they have the false light. What's a dead giveaway when you see them? Will you be like, oh, that motherfucker got the false light? What's a dead giveaway that's
It's not a dead giveaway because the mimicry, like you know, the Mothman prophecies, the mimicry is so well of
mm,
being human that when you walk past them, you can't tell in the 3D.
mm,
There's no, but you can tell when you get to a higher spiritual level, it'll come to you as a subtle knowing, like something ain't right about this right here,
mm,
but I can't quite figure out what it is. And
mm,
until you get a little higher spiritually, then you be like, that's one of them demon niggas.
mm, mm, mm,
But other than that, they the ones that always smiling like they happy go lucky, and then they always trying to backbite you and undercut you when you ain't around.
mm, mm,
You know, but that's the most telling sign of who they are. They
mm,
catch a group of peaceful people congregating, having dinner, and laughing and joking. They can't stand it. It
mm,
irritates their frequency, so they got to start some shit.
mm.
They got to put two people together that had no beef at first. They just naturally how they react to us being in that positive vibratory frequency.
Mm, mm,
And if you see us line dancing, all you got to do is look at the person that got an attitude and how well everybody line dancing. They sitting over there by themselves, mad as hell, pouting and shit, looking for some shit to start
yeah.
because they can't stand this positive vibration of the line dance. The line dance will pull a mask off if you know what you're looking for.
Yes, there's a lot of people I know that just absolutely can't stand positive vibrations and they're always looking to argue and fight. So I
Yeah.
know there's a lot of people on the internet. We see that all the time on the internet. So yeah, I know exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about, my brother. I know exactly what you're talking about. Wow. This is some good stuff here. Shout out to everybody. I want to take a couple of questions from y'all as well in the chat. But man, this is some good stuff here. Rod, if and a couple of more questions before I take questions from the people. You know, we used to hear about the presidents, you know, because we started out talking about Trump and him setting out the National Guard. We would hear when we first came into consciousness about Eisenhower meeting with the aliens and all of that right now. Who would you say is that true? Number one, and number two, if they do meet up with the presidents, who and you talking about the return of the Black Adams, who exactly is Trump meeting up with on in the extraterrestrial space right now?
Trump is not meeting directly with the extraterrestrials. He met with him before he got inaugurated in 2017 when he won 2016, 2017. Anyway, he met with him before then, and they told him the speech to give to the United Nations,
Mm,
right? But he met with him in Raven Rock, Colorado.
mm-hmm,
Raven Rock, Colorado is a hot spot. That's where all the chiefs that you don't see
mm-hmm,
that've been working for liberation behind the scenes. That's where they at. Talking to generals in the military who discovered the fraud of the corporate system and swore to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and found out there were some domestic enemies with foreign interests on the land operating as our government. They all in Raven Rock, Colorado is the headquarters right now of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
That's because of the continuity of government.
Mm-hmm. 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 So was it true? All right. So they told Trump to give the speech to the UN. Who could you? Is there a name? Do you know who he met up with to give the speech?
I don't know who he met,
So
but I know there was a group of generals there, and I know that it was several different galactic council members that met with him as liaisons, and all this stuff is it's difficult to explain to people when you've been indoctrinated with the school system we've been under, the political system we've been under, and the entertainment industry. They all got us where we're more prone to perceive this direction than actual what's taking place.
indeed, indeed. So what was that Eisenhower report? Was that real, Rod? When they said
Yeah,
Eisenhower?
in 1957, Dwight D. Eisenhower met with them, and that's when they made the contract for the military-industrial complex. By the way, because he made an agreement with aliens. And the agreement was for them to get a certain amount of humans for testing, and for them to give a certain amount of technology in return. That's an actual treaty that's on file under his administration. I forgot what number it or which number it is. But he got an extraterrestrial treaty as one of his treaties he signed.
And what group was this? The Grays he met up with?
It was a group of Grays, but I don't know which group it was. But he also met with some Venusians with Valiant Thor and Titania. They came to the White House and stayed there, I think, for either 2 weeks or 2 months with the president.
Wow, this is some out there shit here, Rod. You talking about now? And now we getting real weird. Now I gotta ask you this, Rod. What do you think about Aleister Crowley's work?
Crowley was teaching something called left hand path ritual magic. And Aleister Crowley's whole goal was to go into the secret societies and put everything they teach out in the public domain. He said that in the beginning when they was calling, before they started calling the beast. He got disgruntled with the church first. And
Mm-hmm.
then he found out about most of the preachers was part of the Masonic Lodge. So he became a Mason first. And then he went in and studied and mastered everything that they would allow him access to. And then he went on to the Rosicrucians and several other orders. And then he began to write all of the stuff that he had learned. And then he began to he made a trip to Egypt, right? And he contacted the spirit of Iwas. The irony of it is Iwas is the same name that the movie Avatar gave to the world tree.
Mm.
And that's not a coincidence. The spirit of Iwas is another wide energy field that you can tap into. It's basically a whole bunch of information. And if you prepare yourself to receive the information, you can get anything from Iwas. It's just like tapping into the world tree. They give you everything that you're ready to receive will be given to you.
I haven't heard anybody talk about Iwas from since Crowley. Nobody really talks about that, do they?
No. I think Rudolf Steiner might. Rudolf Steiner is a intellectual gorilla.
He's a he got some shit out there. I was talking about him a couple of months ago, man.
Yeah. I think Lebowski might have mentioned Iwas and Manly P. Hall. Other than that, I don't know a lot of people that mention.
Yeah. Wow. What about have you ever studied Pascal Beverly Randolph? Because I know a lot of them got their information from him.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. And also, it's a guy named Harold Percival.
mm-hmm.
Right, and we all know Manly P. Hall. He was ridiculously intelligent. But it's so many that I can't even remember all of the ones to tell y'all to investigate because there's so many names that when certain ones come to mind, they knock other names out. You know, Annie Besant, um, she was a student of Blavatsky. She was out cold. Um, then you got Paramahansa Yogananda. He was out cold, and he had a student named Dayamata. She was a good instructor in Kriya Yoga. Then you had you ever heard of Osho?
Yeah, heard of Osho. Yeah.
You know? Do you know his story?
That's the dude they did the documentary about, right?
I don't know, but he came over here and he started teaching people how to bypass the religion and tap into their higher consciousness. And the CIA sent an operative to infiltrate. And then they tried to poison him with rice and gas on the doorknobs, and several people got sick. And his security rushed him out of there, rushed him back to India, and he ended up being in a legal battle with the lady that was supposed to be a student. And he was Rajneesh at the time.
Right.
But when he went back to India after he got done dealing with the CIA tactics and he seen how wicked they was, he went to India and changed his name to Osho.
And
But he originally came from over there.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm not sure if there is that family. Did they do a documentary on Osho? Is that the dude on Netflix? Let me know if that's the.
I know they did a 2020 special on him back in the 80s when all that stuff was fresh. Because they was trying to say that he was a fraud. He was more legit than 99% of the preachers in America.
Indeed. Wow. You ever heard of just speaking of people, we're bringing up names. All right, Neville Goddard had a teacher, Ethiopian, I think a Jewish rabbi teacher named what was his name, y'all? The black dude who taught Neville Goddard. Damn, why am I forgetting these names? What's this dude name? Abdullah. You ever heard of the dude Abdullah who taught you? Do you know about Neville Goddard?
I know who Neville Goddard is, but I don't know who his teacher was.
Yeah, Abdullah. This dude named Abdullah. They said he was real sharp. I mean, I'm gonna send you this video on him that I seen on YouTube. Yeah, curious about that dude right there. Shout out, so Rob, man. So Elijah was on point with a lot of this stuff then about the motherships and the UFOs and all that. What's your thoughts on what Elijah's take on the UFOs and the mothership and everything? You agree with his approach to it?
He was pretty spot on because at the time that he said Masfar Muhammad was building the mother plane and they was ordering parts from all of the auto manufacturers, so they was in the process of that. Somebody was in the process of building the ship, and they built it. So he knew something, and he was ahead of his time because when he started talking about the mother plane, the only person had mentioned something about a craft was Noble Drew Ali before that.
And so what's your thoughts about Master Farad Muhammad? Because he was real mysterious as well. Like, was he exactly who they said he was?
He was the perfect mirror to Claire Muhammad. He was the perfect mirror to Claire Muhammad. The name Ford comes from the word fjord, which means a waves, which means a pitch to cross the river, in reference to the river Styx. So you had to pay the boat, the guy in the boat, to take you across the river, right? Which is across the water.
Right.
To go across the water means to traverse the spirit. And once you traverse the spirit, then you can see clear. And once you see clear, you clairvoyant. That's clear vision. And Claire is Muhammad, and Muhammad is the praiseworthy. And we know that the mother of the Nation of Islam during the reign of Elijah Muhammad was Claire Muhammad. the Black Madonna of the day. But Fard Muhammad was the perfect mirror. And he's exactly the opposite of everything she is. In other words, the black woman is God and the white man is the devil. But if you don't see the devil for what he is, you'll never see God for who she is. A mirror.
All right, let's get to some questions from the chat, family. We almost have 4,000 in the chat. Shout out to everybody who's tuned in right now. Let's get to some questions. I know y'all got a lot to ask Rod. We're gonna start. Let's see. Let me scroll up a little bit. Well, shit. Yeah, we asking about all this. What this? Okay. What do you think about Credo Mutwa? What's your thoughts on him? They want to know.
I love Credo. That was my guy. I studied everything I could study from Credo.
Dope. That's where David Icke got the reptilian thing from, though, right?
Yeah, the Chitawule. But that was the only way David Icke can put it into English is to call him a reptilian. But Credo Mutwa called him the Chitawule.
Meaning, so it was a little different from how Icke. So how would you explain what Credo was saying? Because David might have got, he's...
The Chitawule is like saying the people from the stars, more so than calling them reptilian. It just so happened that when Credo Mutwa described their appearance, David Icke, the closest thing he could match it to was the reptilian archons that he had already discovered in the in the Greek and Roman historical record.
Right. Yeah, somebody, I see y'all saying Bobby Hemmett talked about eyewash. Yeah, he did. I gotta see that video again. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, I forgot Bobby Hemmett did talk about eyewash.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up. Thanks for bringing that up. I'm gonna go back into the YouTube archives. You're right. YouTube took a lot of the classic videos off their site from Bobby and Delbert and Phil Valentine.
Facebook did too.
Damn. Yeah, a lot of
Facebook took a lot of stuff down.
Let's get to another question. Yo, you mess with somebody mentioned Jordan Maxwell. You mess with him, Rod? You mess with Jordan Maxwell? What you think about him?
Jordan Maxwell ain't regular. Jordan Maxwell, well, he was the undisputed truth in research.
Yeah. I used to have a lot of his stuff back in the day, yo. A lot of his stuff.
Yeah, I used to listen to him on the same channel our Bell used to come on. There used to be another channel. They used to always be trying to interview him.
Yeah. Well, what they want to know? What are your thoughts on the missing kids?
Anytime a kid come up missing, there's something wrong. Every time a kid come up missing, there's something wrong. Ain't no kid supposed to be coming up missing. Either somebody not doing a job as a protector, and somebody is overdoing their job as a predator. I'm never easy with children coming up missing, and don't nobody know where they at.
I heard somebody earlier mention, I can't find the comment now, something going on in Virginia. There's a lot of children coming up missing in Virginia. You heard anything about that?
It's not just Virginia. See, they running out. They adrenochrome factories have been effectively shut down, and they've been trying to get as many kids as they can to try to survive on their last of those sips of presence here. And the babies coming up missing is not good. And then you still got a remnant from the Lazarus group that need other people's organs because they too goddamn old and need to be put out their damn misery. Because they need somebody else's life force to survive.
Right. All right, let's Let's keep this thing going. Let's get to another. I don't know what this is. They said, "What do you know about Rita Orsic?" What's that?
No, I've never heard that name.
All right, let's keep this thing. Somebody said, "Does Osha have any books?" He got books, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You could type Osho in on Amazon Books, and it's gonna come up with a bunch of books. Some of them gonna be under the name Raj Meeks. It's the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he got some fire.
Somebody wants to know, what is your take on 3 Atlas and Chandra's 3 moons finding? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah, that's probably somebody who put out a video and I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
It sounds like it's like a podcast or something, or one of those researchers that be looking up statistics and stuff. I'm not familiar with them.
Next question. Has it ever been an ancient myth? This is interesting. An ancient myth involving a sister versus sister battle for supremacy. Interesting question.
There is. Matter of fact, it's some that's not even that ancient, but most of the ancient ones, the ancient stories of the women who were vying for the power to the throne, they was also vying for a particular mate, because in order for her to take the throne, she got the blood right, but she might not have the right mate, so that'll disqualify her. But I can't name 2 sisters that was at it, because when the patriarchal onslaught came and they began to villainize the sisters, even the ones that was bad was villainized as the ones that was good was villainized. So those stories is hard to recover post patriarchal onslaught.
Right. Damn, women been fighting over men a long time then, Rod.
It's not all women, only certain ones. Which you gotta remember, a lot of the stuff we see going on today, that stuff wasn't going on 10,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
In social activity and communication, most marriages was arranged. This new stuff where your marriage is not arranged is a disaster.
I don't know if I could have a motherfucker pick my mate for me, Rod. I don't know about living in them times, man.
You know why you would have accepted it, Rich?
Why?
Because first of all, your mama was going to pick the woman that she know beyond a shadow of doubt gonna love you unconditionally like her. She not gonna pick no chick that just want to have a baby by you or just want your money. She ain't gonna never pick her ever.
Right.
So
when you said mama pick her, okay, but go ahead.
Look, it still go on today. It's just that you don't know your mama picked her because you ain't never seen your mama around or talked to her, and she probably ain't never seen your mama in person. But energetically, when you meet her, when your heart chakra accept her and your mama heart chakra pick that energy up, they can communicate subconsciously using you as a relay station. It still happens, but some of us ignore it. When the relationship go bad, that's your mama telling you to get out of there, bro. This finna go all the way south for you. Bail out while you can. And you might be head over heels for this chick, but you be looking at her like something ain't right. I'm out of here. I'm not gonna do this. But that's subconscious communication from your mother in order to protect your heart from this dastardly, trifling, feminine being.
Gotcha. They want C Diggs wants to know, is there a blood type that is considered royal amongst here on Earth?
All of them. You gotta remember, everybody on Earth is related. Even if we don't want to be related to them, we still relate. It's just that they ain't our immediate family, but everybody on Earth is related, or you wouldn't be able to trace mitochondrial lines if we weren't all related.
Right.
And Y chromosome lines for that, because you your daddy line is your father line, based on your Y chromosome haplogroup.
Indeed.
And the royalty comes from Everybody have a potential to be royalty, but everybody not gonna actualize the potential because what it takes is a whole bunch of self work that most of us don't want to go into the darkness of the night to correct those self errors. It's hard work. It's emotionally and psychically draining.
Right.
You can never activate your world potential in your blood because you don't want to put that kind of work in. It's easier for you to get a job, be a slave for 40 years, retire, and then die.
Mm-hmm.
When you start activating what qualifies you as royalty in your blood, right? Um, you have an easier life once you get activated, but you catch hell during the activation period.
Next question they asking is, do you believe souls are trapped in Saturn? I do. I travel there. That's a popular thing on the internet right now.
You cannot trap a soul. It's not possible.
Mm.
Everybody on earth came here knowing what they book of life read before they incarnate. Whether they incarnated the first time or reincarnated for the thousandth time, you can't trap the soul. The only reason why we've been in the light lock, and that's not a soul trap, that is a science trap to trap their science from affecting other people when they go to busting off atomic bombs like 90 going north because we done done it before.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So remember, the devil got 6,000 years to rule. 10,000 years ago was the last of the great wars that almost annihilated all life on the planet.
Was you around during that time, Rod?
I pushed the button.
Oh, there you go with that shit. Yo, this Rod nigga. Yo, Rod. Hold up. Come, Rod, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. You got explain. Come on, Rod. Explain that to me, man. There you go again, Rod. You always doing this. Talk to me.
Yeah. So it was the last Anunnaki wars.
Uh-huh.
And India was winning.
Uh-huh.
I ain't want him to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I had access to the bomb. So I pushed the button. And they went off.
Now, how do you know this was like? Do you have flashbacks of this? Do you have?
Man, the flashbacks is horrible. The flashbacks and the memories is horrible. It's almost like a Vietnam vet waking up with cold sweats in the middle of the night. It's horrible. It's horrible.
I can see it in your eyes. I never seen you like this, Rod. I can see it in your eyes. I see it that damn. You mean that shit. You mean that. I see it in your eyes, man. Shit.
Yeah. They wanted to put us in a permanent loop. This when they India Sun, Winter Sin, opened the portal and Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
When he opened the portal, it was between the third and fourth dimension.
Mm-hmm.
And he blew an explosive and closed the portal, which caused the spiraling of the dimensions that they gradually fade into each other. Well, they pitched two of them together.
Mm.
And now you're in this infinity loop where you come around, go up, come around, go up. You're in the infinity loop now. That means that they can step outside the loop and you trapped.
Mm-hmm.
Your soul not trapped, but your incarnate ability to break free in the 3D is what's trapped. Mm-hmm. Your bloodline is trapped in the 3D by repeating the same cycles over and over again. And that's why you have to flip out of the infinity loop. That's what made the Maherta so important. Because we've been trying to hit the Maherta at the right time.
For a while.
Wake us all up and flip out the loop by information, waking up enough minds to flip out of the loop to get back on track. Now we're on top of the fourth dimension, about to get ready to move into the fifth dimension. But the three-dimensional world is still going to be here. It's just that our access to higher knowledge and higher spiritual abilities will once again be reactivated. Remember I told you couldn't nobody come in a mythical form.
Yeah.
But now you're gonna be able to see people's mythical form in their physical presence in the 3D. It'll be clear as day. Oh, she's an ogre.
Mm-hmm.
She's a fairy. He's a gnome. Right? You'll be able to recognize them, but they're still gonna look human. That's the Earth rule. On Earth, everybody, all higher evolved beings, got to take on the form of the human. And this is what happened when a lot of those reptilians, we didn't know that killing them was going to make them turn into us over time. The more you kill them, the more like us they look.
It's like that?
Yeah. That's what the story, you see the Great Wall with Tom Cruise?
Yeah, yeah.
You remember them beasts, they kept killing them?
Okay.
And every time you kill one, they become more and more like a human because it's the highest frequency in the energy field that matches their frequency coming from where they from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they the top species where they from. We the top species here.
Mm-hmm.
So if they stay here and you keep killing them because they obviously recognize they don't belong here, and you keep killing them every time they come back, when they start taking on human form, they go through stages of what's called ichthyosis. So they got these big scales. That means they almost human. They next incarnation, kill him up again. He gonna come back next time. He's just gonna have ashy skin,
Mm-hmm.
and then he gonna look like one of us.
Damn. Since that time, Rod, you said you pushed a button. Was there another incarnation before you known as Rod Hayes that you've been down here, my brother?
Yeah, I used to read. Okay, so my average lifespan was around 90 to 100 years since then, and I always came back in the Louisiana area or the Mississippi area, and I always remember being a toddler going to my big mama house. When she was in Louisiana, we used to catch a flat raft, and the dude used to row us to her house. And then when we get to her house, it's like she got a piece of land in the middle of the swamp. When we get in there, and this was my favorite memory, and I think that's why I carry so many lifetimes of remembering it, because it happened in multiple lifetimes. But when we go there, she say, what my baby want to eat? I got some fried chicken and cornbread squares. And I go into the kitchen, and it's always a bowl with some fried chicken and some cornbread covered up with a towel on the counter. I remember that multiple lifetimes. Then, like 2 lifetimes ago, I remember going to my big mom house. She wasn't in the swamp. I thought it was I. She ain't in the swamp no more. She's living in New Orleans, in the city limit. That's I for my big mom, right? But she still had the fried chicken and the cornbread squares on the countertop. That's for the visitors to come through because they had no bag of chips.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, let's go get some Doritos and some Suzy Q. What none of that, right? And the real treat was called sweet bread, but it was really made like cake batter, but it was fried on top of the stove like a pancake, but it wasn't a pancake, right? And that gave rise to common white bread being called sweet bread. But I remember a lot of that stuff. I remember in past lives walking through the nighttime streets of New Orleans with my mama holding my hand. And when I went back to New Orleans, you're talking about a flood of memories. I didn't know what I was going through. I thought I was going literally insane. Because at the time, I was like 17, 18 years old. And I'm like, what is this? Right? And it took me years to figure out what it was I was seeing.
You was having flashbacks of past lives when you went there.
Yeah.
Damn, man. Rod. You be always, man, I be having a good time talking to you, man. Rod, you be saying some shit, boy. I'll be having a good time talking to you, man. Let's get to some more questions, Rod. Let's get to some more questions. Somebody said, will the black aliens help us?
They not gonna help us or hurt us. They not here for all of us. The ones on Earth is responsible to help the ones on Earth. The ones leaving Earth is responsible to get the fuck on. And the ones that's leaving, all I can say is arrivederci. It was nice having you here, and it's even nicer to see you leave. You all stayed your welcome,
Mm-hmm.
and now we want to go back to Earth life as Earth is supposed to be.
Mm.